I think we are live. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Thank you,
For-
Aaron.
No, thank you so much for being here. And this is my very first live stream here today. So if anyone is here, I really appreciate you being here today. So first, just wanted to say, thank you so much for being here. And today I'm super excited because we have another episode of the Book Brew where we talk books and also drink some brew. Also, I have a very special guest, with that being Norbert Zsivicz, who is the author of The Sealed Empire. And guys, anyone who's watching this back, The Sealed Empire was one of my top reads of the year. I'm just saying this right now, the prologue is probably one of the best prologues I've ever read. It's just so mind-gripping. It was so much fun to read through. And I think, we'll get to it in a little bit, but I think that prologue is free for anyone who is interested later on after watching this video. But Norbert, thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing tonight?
Thank you very much, Aaron. I'm a little bit sick. I catch a flu, so that's why I'm probably not gonna drink beers. However, I have one here, but I'm just gonna drink some tea. But to not killing the spirit of this show, I bring some whiskey in it. So I'm gonna put some in. So the prologue is free, yes, on Amazon. I think the whole book, if you have a Kindle Unlimited, because it's part of the Unlimited thing, so you can read it. What was another question? Thank you very much to inviting me for this.
No, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, thank you so much again for being here. And going back to drinking tea, thanks again for making the trek here online while you're sick a little bit. This is called the Book Brew as well, so anything that we can brew, beer, tea, coffee, tea is completely fine and very acceptable. So I want to make sure you're getting better.
Especially with whiskey.
Tea with whiskey. Okay. Yeah. So with this being the Book Brew, before we get into questions for you, super hard questions, not really, we're going to talk about some beer as well. And in my case, what I have on me is this one right here by Brewdog, which I believe this one is a brewery out of Columbus, Ohio. And this one's called Hazy Jane. So I haven't tried this one before, but it's a New England style IPA. And usually, I'm not really an IPA fan, to be honest. It has like that orange-ish kind of aftertaste to it. And there's a few that I like, but the majority of them I can just take it or leave it. But we'll see how this one is. But in terms of your tea, what do you have for you right now?
Right, so I made a specialty actually. So in the bigger one, I just cooked with some ginger and lemon, and I just adding some special Scottish whiskey. So.
Oh, you weren't kidding about that?
I'm not kidding. I showed you.
That's perfect for an author, right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right.
Author's tears.
For anyone who's watching this right now, The Sealed Empire is a mix of like a sci-fi fantasy blend, and the cover is just so epic looking. And I want to see if I can show it on the screen for you guys right now, just because it was so cool. So let me figure out how to do that. And right here, boom, this cover right here by Mr. Norbert Zsivicz is amazing. This is really what sold me on the book, to be honest, Norbert. When I first saw this, it's like Cyber Leviathan monsters, man. I mean, where else can you find that in any book? I haven't seen anything like that. Even a few weeks ago, I think you saw on Twitter when I kind of mentioned you, where I was like, when are we going to have a book someday in the future where we have a robot dragon? Because everyone loves dragons, right? But how about a cyber dragon? When's that book going to come out? And that reminded me of your book, with the Cyber Leviathan monsters right here. So
it's more like a Kraken Leviathan mixed together with some robotic dragon vibes. Actually, this cover was made for like months back then. That is a 3D model with this cover. Obviously the robotic thing. I called it like mechanic creature. That's how the artist called it when it was created. So it's in a ZBrush model, so one day maybe we can just print it out with a 3D printer. I'm making a nice statue as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
3D printed version of that? Yeah, that would be pretty sick.
Yes. So we wanted to make a cover which is looks like a movie poster or something, and catching the prologue vibe. So when you mentioned the prologue, so someone who's not reading the book, this is basically the first 20 page-ish, maybe less, when you're just starting the book. This is happening in the very beginning. And that was the vibe. What the medieval knight gonna do if he's facing this kind of creatures, like what he's gonna think. Yeah. It's getting some this adventure vibe when you are alone and in a stormy night, and you're facing with a monster that you barely even can defeat. What you're gonna do? Yeah, it's pretty cool.
No, it was definitely a selling point. And when I first saw this cover, it was actually on Library of the Vikings YouTube channel. So when you saw that video get posted out, did you know that Library of a Viking, a pretty large booktuber, was going to cover your book on that video there?
So that was super surprising, and I'm still thankful to Johan. That was a huge boost. That's probably the biggest boost what I was get, because I was just sending him we was mailing a few times. He told me like he's super busy. And somehow he just doesn't enjoying his book that moment, and just pick it up, mine, and he was so hooked and just finished it in 3 days, and he made a video and everything, and we are still in contact. That was super good. And since then, so many people was picking up my book. So I think I can't be grateful enough to him to making a video. That was so good. It was happened basically almost around my birthday, so it was like a birthday present.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Well, I think really that was a great birthday gift.
One thing, I'm gonna teach you my name. So how you're gonna spell it is with a Z actually, because it's in the name. So you're gonna spell it like Zsivicz, like when you are trying to say like Giselle or something like a French thing. So with G, so that's Zsivicz. I think it's not Zsivicz. Yeah.
Okay.
Because so many people miss it, but now I'm teaching it in live. Okay.
Now we got it in record now. Because I was sorry for saying that wrong earlier. So
no. Even in my country, they can't spell it, so don't worry.
Awesome. Well, first question before we dive to the realms outside your books, I wanted to talk about your books obviously first, because that's the whole reason why I reached out to you in the first place, because when I read through The Sealed Empire, it was just so much fun to read through. And the ending, for anyone who's watching, the ending is just mind-bending in terms of it went a completely different direction than I thought it was going to go. So, first question, first book is done, right? Is there plans to roll out more books in the series? And if so, how many books are you planning in this world of The Sealed Empire?
So my plan is like 5 books actually.
Oh, perfect.
But at least 4 altogether with this first one. So it will be like a 4-book trilogy saga or something. That's the main plan, because I can't put it in 3 books, so it has to be 4. And maybe an origin story, a prequel in 1 book, and that's why it will be like 5 max. I don't planning more. I don't want it to like overgrowth it. I don't know. I don't like to be making stories like a never-ending story. I think it's just killing the vibe. So 4 book I think is definitely enough. So at the moment I'm working on a second one, and yes, it's a completely different book. I usually saying to guys like this book, my first one is fantasy mixed with sci-fi. So it's like more like fantasy than sci-fi, but obviously with some sci-fi. And the second book will be more sci-fi and less fantasy.
Okay.
But I think my direction is going to be pretty good. So everyone who is loved the first one is gonna love the second one as well, because I have some nice twists as well. The story, the main characters who survived the first one, they're gonna return, and they have like new challenges and stuff. So I already like halfway through, so it's like half a way ready. But obviously it's on my native language, Hungarian. But now it will be much easier because I have so much support, and I have the translator Thomas, who is really very good. And we can do it like much quicker than the first one. So hopefully next year I'm gonna publish the Hungarian, and roughly after that we're gonna do the translated one.
Awesome. Yeah. First question, going back to the translation as well. When I was reading through the book, I noticed that I even put this in my review a while ago, that a lot of characters' names started with the letter E. So in the Hungarian version of it, is that like the same thing as well in terms of the spelling of the characters' names, with that letter E being present a lot?
No. It's
No.
not. So many people was hating me for that when in Hungary. Like, why the hell am I doing this? But to be honest, if you read it, you know there is a twist, at least
Yes.
one twist with it. So I was mainly doing because of that, and because it was a joke for me. Like, why not? why not to do that? But also I have another twist, but I don't know if I'm going to put it in the second book or maybe just in the third book. But the main thing was just that twist, and everybody missed that. And everybody was like, oh my god, yes. So if I doing like that, nobody gonna notice. So that's why I just try that. You know Stan Lee? He was usually doing the names like Peter Parker with 2P or Matt Murdock with MM. He was like joking with this thing as well. So I was like, yeah, why not? I'm gonna do that. I was just putting E names. Why not? It's fun.
Like going to one of the E names, one of the characters, Eric.
Yeah.
This guy, I think anybody who reads through this book is not going to be a fan of Eric, because he is just despicable. This guy is just, he oozes just hatred. So this guy, whenever you guys actually read through this book, Eric will not be a character that you're going to like, but you love reading through. That was at least the case for me. So Eric, in this story, was he inspired by someone like in your life, or just come out of your imagination in terms of making someone just so vile?
So look, I was working on this book for like 3-4 years. I was started over and over, I think like 3 times at least. And this guy was just constantly developed. I not blame him to being like a point of view character, but then I was just realized, okay, it's gonna add for the story. So I just making that thing. It's just constantly developing. It's the inspiration was just I wanted to create a great villain who is like ruthless, and everybody want to just hate him. And I was kind of enjoy it when I was writing like this guy is so sick, and I love it.
Well, you did a great job, because it was a fantastic character to read through, and every time he came on the page, I was just thinking, here we go again. But I still love to actually see him on the page, just because of how engaging he is and how much I despise him. So fantastic character work there.
Thank you. The one inspiration maybe was Two-Face from Batman, and another from Game of Thrones, but not specifically, but just the villains in Game of Thrones, like how they are act, how ruthless they are. Maybe this too was some inspiration, but mainly it's an original character, I think.
We go on to Game of Thrones real quick. I know you mentioned this in, I think, your YouTube channel kind of intro to the book. How about the translation for the Seal of the Empire from Hungarian to English was done by the translator who did the opposite, but for Game of Thrones, from English to Hungarian, right?
Yes.
How was that process in terms of getting someone that worked on a franchise just almost known around the world to work on your book?
So basically, I was just asked around, because in Hungary, like I started to know a lot of publishers, a lot of big names, and I was just asked around who can do this kind of things. And I came across like 10 people, and this guy was kind of love it. He was like reading the prologues and everything, so he was love it. and we was make a deal like, yeah, he wanted some challenge because that was from Hungarian to English, not the opposite. Usually every translator doing this the English to Hungarian, it's much easier than backwards. And he just wants some challenge extra, and he was love the book, so yeah, go for it. I was so happy he was like saying yes to it. And then we became friends, so it's really good.
That's great.
We're gonna work for the rest of the sequels and everything I wrote, I guess.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so he's my official translator.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So like when you're I think you already mentioned this. So you're writing book 2, but you're writing it in Hungarian. So book number 2 is going to come out in Hungarian first, right? And then the translation will be worked on. What's that time gap look like in terms of translating the book?
I think like 6 months, roughly.
Oh, 6 months, okay.
Yeah, so I think it's good, but it still just depends how quickly we can work. So the thing is, when I was wrote the book, I speak in English. I studying English in university as well. So I'm living in London, so I can speak. But it's not the same level when you write it. But anyway, when I was writing in Hungarian, I'm always looking for the words, which can be much easier to translate. Choosing names, like for example, our point of view characters, like choosing English names everywhere. So it's much easier to translate. So I was prepared my book for that when I was writing it. So many times for when it was some kind of really memorable moment, I was always translating in myself. So like how it sound like in English. And if it was better in English, but not that good in Hungarian, I always choose the English first, like being the translation a bit better than the Hungarian.
Were you concerned at all about the translation process in terms of like losing the impact of what you wrote, in terms of like certain scenes that it wouldn't actually come into fruition to like the reader reading in English? Were you worried about the translated version just not sinking or hitting as hard as what you wrote it in Hungarian?
Yeah, it's possible, definitely, but still I try to make it like in an easier way, that like to be easier to translate. Trying to not make it really complicated I don't know, lyrics stuff, but yeah, it's possible. There was some guys who just doesn't really like the prose, but I think he was like expecting more, I don't know, poetry style or Shakespearean thing. I don't know, but this is a sci-fi adventure thing. It's more plain. That's how I thought. One day I'm gonna write in English, I think, but not a book, like more like scripts, because I already working on it.
Okay. Well, I think that there might not be poetry within the story, but it's still very atmospheric, and you can feel that from the very first like paragraph, in terms of Edward being on that ship and just the cacophony of storms surrounding him. It's very visual, so I still think it might not be poetry, no, but still super visually immersive. So anyone who's going to start this book, they're still going to be immersed into it, in my opinion. So I think it still came across very well.
Thank you. Yeah, we was tried our best. We still can, if we're getting some review, like what to change, some words, or even some sentences which sounds a bit better, we're gonna change it. But it's already read it through a guy, Craig. He was the proofreader, who's also was written childish books and also translating manuals for board games. So he's a really good guy, and he's full British, so he was just reading through and changing slightly to being more native. So I think it's good. It's good like that.
Going to some people here on the live stream, I'm not sure if you can read this. Is this Hungarian right here?
Yes. Hello.
That's awesome. Yeah, it looks like I'm not sure if you use Google Translate to write that, but either way, thanks so much for joining in.
Thank you very much.
In terms of your book, I know that the paperbacks just came out not too long ago on Amazon, right? So congrats on that, getting paperbacks out. In terms, like, I do not have it physically just yet, but I would love to have it physically. And the reason why I don't have it just yet is because I'm still holding out, because I think you mentioned a while ago, and this might be still under wraps, it might still be a secret, that there might be a special secret project out there to have a special edition for a hardcover. Do you have any details on that, or is that still under wraps?
So, you can get emails and check now, because maybe I can send you something, and this will be a nice review because we're doing a live show. Why not? So yes, that is a hardcover version. We are working on it, and that's go. Yeah. So I just send it, but it's like, as you can see, it's like 2 versions, and we're not decided yet. Maybe we can show it now.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. So, who are you working with on this? Is it like someone?
It's a different guy, but he's a big name as well.
Yeah, let me download.
He's usually working on the Agave Publishing in Hungary, and it's a big sci-fi publisher, and he's making the covers there. So it's like a pretty big name. Creating covers, so we're working together, and that's what he pulled off, and it looks good. This will be
all right. Here we go.
Yeah, so we have it.
So I'm gonna share it right now. Okay. And here it is.
Okay. So
look at these things.
So this will be a hardcover.
Wow, these look amazing.
Collector's edition thing, where we're gonna put some extra content, which is actually available on the website, or maybe not on the English one. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, it's 3 chapters, 3 extra chapters, basically. More or less some history, some gods, like mythological things, and another part of Emma's journey back then with Eric, basically. How they ended up together, and it's a little spoiler, but yeah. So yeah,
these look amazing.
Choose. Yeah, so this we're not decided yet which one we want to use. So one of them is like more a warm color with gold. Another one is like silver-ish blue, which is closer to the original one. We just wanted something different. Obviously, the second book gonna came with the same artist, which was seen as well. So like this digital, like a movie style thing, it will be like that. But still, the hardcover with this special edition thing, we wanted to do this kind of things. I'm leaning towards this one on the right, the blue one, just because I love the original cover as well. I think the blue and like the red there kind of pays homage to the original cover. Are you planning on making these like almost like a shine, like a sheen or a shimmer to like the font and the colors? Because if you were, I think the gold would look awesome in terms of the shiny aspect as well. So I mean, I'm torn because they both look amazing. Thanks. So the thing is, maybe I'm gonna choose the silver as well. But I'm not fully sure. So because it's closer to the original first. I like this more than the original cover. Oh, thank you very much. So yeah, we're trying to catch up the thing. This cover is more like an old book, which is the Empire, in the fantasy world. And the guys who is trying to, shape something, which is this metal monster. So if we're just trying to imagine an old book, an old medieval book, and how people's gonna describe and draw something which they can't explain. So it's like that. That's how we put it together. So yeah,
that's great.
When it's gonna publish, I have no idea, but probably next year, because I still looking for publishers, you know. And maybe I can arrange a deal, but if I can do that in the next few months, maybe I just gonna publish myself and that's it. Well, I really want to go do a specialized editions.
No, I'm loving the look of it for sure. It looks amazing. So in terms of, I know you said you don't have an exact date just yet in terms of pushing it out. Would you consider doing a Kickstarter? Because I know Kickstarters are like flying through the roof right now in terms of tons of indie authors having a lot of success getting out special edition books. Like Zach Argyle, for example, has an amazing cover, and also I forget what it was called, like the Metal Gods. I forget what that book was called right now, but
yeah, Metallic Gods or something like that. Yeah, I know, and it's really similar, at least for the looks, like mine, but
yeah,
it's a totally completely different story. But yeah, he's doing this and he's really successful. I've seen I think he was like pulled together like more than 1,000, so, not thousand, hundreds of thousands. Yeah, hundreds of thousands. Yes. So yeah, I'm thinking as well. Maybe I can pull a Kickstarter. Yeah.
I know that if you were to do a Kickstarter, I'll probably try to be the first backer. I'll try to be it, because I think this would kick off like a firestorm for real. Because I know you just hit like 100 ratings too, right, on Goodreads?
Yeah,
not too long ago.
Yeah, hundreds of 5 now, I think, something like that. It's good. It's going up. It's still not 1,000, but go for it. It's going. At least the ratings are still cool. Most of the people love it. So I'm very proud. I'm very proud.
Here. He is saying that he's always been drawn to ancient naval stories of sea monsters. Well, I think this book would be right up your alley, because we have exactly that, but a cyber technology take on it versus just your traditional sea monsters. So, Chris, I think this would be right up your alley for sure.
Thanks, Chris.
So, yeah, the books look great. I'm super excited for the special editions. However you get it out, I'm going to be a day one backer, if it's through a publisher, if it's through Kickstarter, if you do it yourself. I'm definitely here for it, and I want it. So definitely continue with that. So, but I think we're at a good point now in the call to move on to the second brew. In my case, I got a beer.
So maybe just adding another whiskey to
my second brew.
So at the moment, maybe slowly, but it will be more whiskey than tea.
Hairpin Lua. Yeah. So this one's apparently supposed to be a little bit of a fruity taste to it. Passion fruit, orange, and guava. It is an IPA. So let's see how it is. How's the whiskey making your tea right there?
I feel it.
Perfect. So, yeah, that was actually pretty good. This one right here, I had a nice little fruity taste to it in these winter months that we're in right now. So overall, I enjoyed it for sure. So, going a little bit outside of your books now. This is something that I found very interesting when I was reading your Twitter profile. Was that you listed in your bio that you're also a professional chef.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that? What's going on there? Professional chef and an author of a Cyber Leviathan sea monster book?
So basically, that's my first profession. I learned as a chef. I worked as a chef for like 5 years at least. I'm still working as a chef, because I'm working in hospital, but more likely as a waiter or receptionist or something. But still, something I'm helping out in the kitchen. But more likely, back then, years before, yes, I was sous chef. I was working in restaurants, cooking every kind of steaks, but basically everything you can eat in a restaurant. So yeah, I was cooking, because when I was a kid, I was not really know like what to do. When when in the moment in your life, okay, now you have to choose what you want to learn. And I was like, I have no idea. I like playing video games. I like to read, but somehow I have to earn some money. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn to be a chef because I like to eat as well. And also it's a creative thing. You can create like new tastes. You can, I don't know, serving the food in a different styles, colorful, not colorful, stuff like that. So yeah, I still love cooking. I still cooking nice things. If someone following me on Instagram, you probably seen me. I just posting about foods more often than books. but yeah, so I like
cooking.
cooking.
Any food posts yet on Twitter, at least.
Yeah, it was a soup because I'm a bit sick, so I made a traditional Hungarian chicken soup to help me out of this, and it's working well. Yeah, but I can cook basically anything. I learned it for 2 years.
Now, does that cooking history that you have, does that have an influence in your writing anywhere? Because I know, like, in Game of Thrones, for example, a lot of people reference that George R.R. Martin talks about food all the time. So I'm just trying to think back now to reading The Sealed Empire. I don't remember any like instances where food is like specifically called out. Do you have any scenes that I missed?
Actually, there was.
Because, yeah, I'm forgetting it right now.
I just not focusing that much of the food, like how they are making it or something. But there are tastes. For example, there was Emily on her birthday thing. There was food a lot. Even Edward when he's hunting and they cooking things. So it's there. I just not over push it. I don't know. Maybe George loved to eat as well. So he was just constantly thinking rather than writing or just doing two things. I don't know. But it's cool. I gonna put maybe more, or just making a Sealed Empire recipe book one day.
And that's a good idea. I'll be down for that. So, going to the book real quick, back again. In terms of you being, a self-pubbed author at the moment, like you're wearing a lot of hats in terms of it's you're writing the book, trying to market it, you working with different artists, you trying to get the book cover and the book itself, finalized in a spot there you can actually sell it, right? In terms of being in that position, what aspects of being a self-pub author, do you enjoy the most, and which parts of that process, exhaust you the most?
Obviously, the most enjoy part is when I'm writing the book. That's the best, because you're just calm and listening to some music, or maybe drinking whiskey. I don't know, and just write. I think your fantasy just flow. That's the best part. The worst part is when you actually have to marketing it, because you have to constantly posting on Instagram, Twitter, or something. So it's exhausting actually to be up to date every time, everywhere. Because creating the cover, obviously, it's a long process and it's cost money, but still you're seeing what you wanted to create. So it's good. You're enjoying that part too, because that's creating as well. But marketing sometimes is just exhausting. Lucky for me, I'm learning marketing on uni. But sometimes it doesn't help either, because it's totally different genre. It's not like a product, like a shoes or a drink. How to this is a book, and it's a different type of marketing. You can't just doing a Facebook or an Instagram ad. They're not gonna give nothing. That's why I just realized that Booktubers are the best platform actually. Just contact with them, and if your book was good and they somehow read it, then good. You will be good. No one cares about any kind of ads now. and just booktubers, just reviews, and you have to constantly post this on Instagram. But it's exhausting, especially because I'm kind of alone. One of my family members and friends is sometimes helping me, but
Mhm.
mainly it's just me who's doing this.
I was going to bring that up actually in terms of booktubers. Like when you were first writing The Sealed Empire, in terms, I know like you're writing it, you're getting the book done, and eventually you knew that you're going to need to, market it right. In terms of when you first initially came at your marketing strategy, did you have booktubers in mind when you first had that book, published and written? Like, was that in your agenda to actually reach out to booktubers in the beginning, or when did that come into fruition for you in terms of, you know what, I should reach out to these people online and see if they'll talk about my book or not?
My first was publishers, actually, not
Mm.
booktubers, or first it was ads and not booktubers. Obviously, I was like aware of booktubers, but because like nobody was reading it back then, because I just published it.
Yeah.
My first idea was like, okay, I just gonna text for guys in Goodreads or Moi. In Hungary, there is a website which is like Goodreads is just the Hungarian version. It's called like Bookworm. Moi is like that. So I was just texting to them like, look, here is my book. I see you reading sci-fi or something, and I was just sending them. Because I was knowing, like a booktuber is not gonna pick my book because nobody reading it. It's just published, a no-name author. It's just a new guy. Why I want to read his book? There's thousands of others. So I was like, first I just want some reviews at least. Somebody is reading it, and then I gonna reach them somehow. But it was still it's just kind of frustrating because you are on the button like. Come on, there is thousands of others. Like, why I choose you?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was a big hit when Johan read it, and he's made a booktube video. Then a lot of people was picking up. Somebody was calling me on Facebook. Wow, wow.
Maybe they want to read your book. They're seeing the live stream and they want to say, you know what, where can I find this book at?
There is on Amazon, and actually, for Christmas, I'm gonna put down the prices to $1 for
$1.
Yeah, for War December. I think it starts tomorrow or something like that.
There we go.
Yeah.
So everyone watching the call or this video back.
$1. $1, guys, for the ebook. Yeah,
that's the deal.
Yeah, the paperback is still like that.
Yeah, I'm excited to get my hands on it physically one day, especially if those special edition comes out, because they are amazing. So I also saw on your Twitter profile as well, and you already even mentioned it too on this call, is that you like the game, right? So what kind of gamer are you? You playing like the Xbox, you playing PlayStation, or you're playing the Switch, or even PC? What's your preference there?
Usually playing on my laptop, so it's not a PC laptop, but I was a PC guy back then, and now PS5 as well. Yeah, PS, but because Starfield is on the Xbox, I think I have to buy an Xbox as well. I usually playing with like RPGs with good stories. So my favorites are like the Fallout series, Witcher series, Mass Effect series, this kind of games, like mainly RPG, but with heavy story based. You have your choices. That's my jam. I love it. And if it's not, then RTS, some strategic games. That's this is the top. This one's.
And the Witcher games are an absolute blast for sure.
Yeah.
I actually played with The Witcher 1 through 3. And
you played the 1 as well.
I played Witcher 1 by accident. Because my friend, he bought The Witcher 2 on a Steam deal, like a Steam like summer sale. And I was like, okay, we can play it together. So I went to go buy it. I accidentally bought The Witcher 1 without even knowing. Like I installed it, started playing it. I was like, man, this game feels kind of dated. but I really like it. So we played through
Yes,
the entire thing, and it was actually a lot of fun. It was a great story to it.
I was loved the Witcher one, but I was played when it was came out. But like, it's like 15 years ago, maybe more, 18. Yeah, I was love it. I was loving that. Because of that, I was read the books. So actually, one day, if I adapting my books, I will be more than happy if it will be a video game. Really, if it's never gonna make it as a movie or TV series, go for a video game. Something like The Witcher, I will be super happy.
Well, you might go full circle then, though. I mean, for The Witcher, went from no book to game to TV show.
Yeah,
All right. Were you a fan of that TV show, by the way? Because I know there
I
was
d-
kind of
no,
mixed there.
no.
No.
I hate it. No. It's not connecting to the games. It's not connecting to the books as well. So why they making it? They just wanted something. It's called Witcher. And it's not really connecting to anything. The only good part was Henry, and they lost him. That's it. So
Yeah,
forget.
that's all. Lots of
Forget
people
me.
saying if when Henry leaves, yeah, I'm out. I'm not watching it any further. So, so you're not gonna continue the series, or did he even start it?
Actually, I canceled it in middle of the second one because I was just hating like how they not following the books. So no.
I think
It
Henry
was really
Cavill was the same
it
way.
was really disappointing.
Mm,
So, yeah, no.
yeah. So, um, in terms of what you're currently reading, like, do you even have time right now? I mean, I think you're in school, from what I've heard, right? And you're writing book number 2. Do you even have time to read? And
Yeah,
if you are, what are you reading?
at the moment, I'm reading like 4 or 5 books because I always switching like which I like. Sometimes I want some sci-fi, sometimes I want some fantasy.
Mm.
Interesting why I write like that. Anyway, so at the moment I'm reading the Third Body Problem.
Oh, yeah.
It's a cool sci-fi. Also, I'm reading Mark Lawrence books. I was just met him in Bristol this year. That was
Oh,
really
that's
good.
awesome.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I'm reading his books. Also, some comics. I like some DC ones. I just got the Hellblazer, the John Constantine one, and also I have the Keanu Reeves one, the Berserk. This looks cool as
Oh,
well. He wrote it, that one, and he's the main character as well. Also, I think he was awesome. Awesome.
yeah.
That's
So going back to the three body problem, I think I'm pretty sure that's becoming a TV show.
yes.
I think on Netflix. Are you concerned about how The Witcher it came to Netflix based off of a book? Three Body Problem is coming to Netflix off a book. Are you concerned about that one in terms of the direction you're gonna
we will see. Like, I think it just depends on the creator.
go?
No Netflix.
No Netflix.
Yes. Yeah, Netflix is kind of bad now, but I think Apple TV is doing a really good job now. But yeah, Netflix. Yeah, I can't trust Netflix now. We'll see. Some of their shows are really good. For example, The Sandman was really good.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on the creators. Maybe if they invited the original writer, I don't know if they invited him or not, but I think it just depends on them. I also want to be part of this kind of things as a producer, something, some executive guy who is like just helping the productions,
Hmm.
being in games or even TV shows. Because studios really like to make just money. It's at the end of the day. Yeah, Neil Gaiman was there. Yes, he's real. So, of course, yeah. So that's the thing. But even in the Witcher one, Andre was there. But if he don't have a significant voice in the production, it's not
Yeah.
gonna work. So, yeah.
Well,
When I imagining myself one day and
Mhm.
working this kind of production, I really want to be in there. even if it's not my book or something someone else's, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna trying to be true for that as much as possible.
Yeah. I know, like, George R. R. Martin, he was obviously a part of the Game of Thrones TV show. So, what happened at the end there? So, what happened at the very tail end?
At the very end, I think he was not ready.
Yeah.
He was had like a rough vision, but every author have a rough vision when they writing the book, but it's growing when you're writing it and rethinking and cutting out some things which is not good. But you're realizing during the process. He was some ideas, but it was like 2 books. So how are you gonna know how it's gonna end when he was not doing the part for that?
Mm-hmm.
So he was not doing the part, the 2 books. So there was like chunks, which he was probably not doing if he writing the books. So he was giving the, I don't know, the stuff for the directors.
This one right here, Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie. I'm actually reading The Blade itself right now for the very first time. I know that's like a huge book in the fantasy genre. I know a ton of people are ultra excited about this adaptation right here coming out. So I'm not sure what platform this one's coming out on. I actually forget if it's Netflix. Do you guys know where this one's coming out on? Because I actually forget. So, but you know who I am excited for in terms of a TV adaptation? I'm not sure if you read this author, Blake Crouch. Have you read any Blake Crouch?
What he wrote?
He wrote a book, actually multiple books, but the one that I'm referencing right now is Dark Matter.
So yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, it's on my list.
It's on your list? Like on your TBR?
Yes.
Yeah, that book, I've already read it 3 times just because of how phenomenal and how engaging it is. It's just an amazing read. And I already got through it 3 times. I know Apple TV is working on a adaptation right now on it.
Cool.
I think it's supposed to come out here pretty soon too, because the cast was announced months ago. I think they even had a little teaser. I might be mistaken there, but I'm very, very excited for that one to come out because the book was phenomenal. Yeah, let's see here. Main role, Rebecca Ferguson. Sure. Okay. Is that for Best Served Cold, or is that for
the new
Dark Matter? Because I know she's in Dune.
Yeah, she's in Dune.
And Dune was amazing. So, are you a Dune fan, by the way?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
And this new movie is really cool. I love it.
Oh, there we go. So she's going to be in Best Served Cold. That's going to be awesome because she's an amazing actress. So that'll be great. But I think it's a great time now to move on to our brew number 3. In my case, I'm going to a classic here in the States, with that being Yingling. This is like apparently America's oldest brewery. I mean, it says it here on the label. America's oldest brewery.
Wow.
And this is usually my go-to beer in terms of like a traditional lager. So it's nothing too crazy, this one is, but I like it. And I have it in my fridge. So I'm going in.
Cheers,
what about you?
Man. Maybe I can continue this whiskey thing, or I can drink a beer as well. Brewgooder.
There we go. Brewgooder.
Maybe I'm just getting 2 slips. But like, I don't want to ruin your channel, like not drinking beer. So
yeah, just a couple sips.
Yeah, just a couple. Doesn't hurt. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, thank you again. So in terms of Dune, Dune Part 2 was delayed until I think March of next year because of the cinema strikes going on over there. Are you pretty excited for Dune Part 2 come out? Or are you a fan of Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 1?
Everything. We will gonna see. I would really love it. I still want to see the second part, to to be
Oh, yeah.
voting because it's just half of the book. So I just want to see both of them together to say my proper review. But I think that's the not. Yeah. So yeah, I just want to see together. But I think what he's doing, this is one of the best what we can see now on cinema as a sci-fi or real world building, fantasy, whatever. With the costume designs, the CGI, the storytelling. Dune is probably one of my favorites in the past years.
You know, what's interesting is I'm pretty sure now that it's out in the open that he's going to work on Dune Messiah as well to make it a trilogy.
Yes.
And Dune Messiah, I deeply enjoyed just because of the huge shift in terms of the contrast and the overall tone that you're reading through, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to see how he executes Dune Messiah, though, in terms of like mass popularity. Because Dune, that movie has lots of explosions, lots of battles, lots of fight scenes. Dune Messiah doesn't have as much of that at all. So I'm interested to see how that plays out with like a mass audience.
Especially because the second book is not that good. Like it's good, but like compared for the Dune or the Children's of Dune.
Yeah.
It's just, it's typical second book, mid book. And the Children's of Dune is much better. So if he's doing that, I think he should make the third book as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Children of Dune would be insane to watch because the end of that one was insane. So that'll be exciting. Yeah. See, he needs Children of Dune. That'll be great because he is a phenomenal director. He is like some of my favorite movies of all time. Like you can see it right behind me. I got Blade Runner 2049 right there.
And it was shooted in Hungary, most of the
No way.
And even
I had no idea.
Even Dune was shooted there as well.
Wow,
in Budapest.
That's great.
Some of my friends are working on it. Yeah.
Some of your friends are working on it.
Yeah. A few of mine.
No way.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, that's why I was saying, like, maybe one day I could be working on some movie things.
Well, if that's the case, I think it would be insane if you could get the Sealed Empire to a screen somehow, because I think it's almost written to be on a screen, because it is all the twists and turns that you got going on, the very cinematic like tones within it, especially like the very beginning. I think that prologue would hook anybody. If it was on a screen, that would hook anybody to watching the rest of the series for sure.
Thanks. Yeah, that's how I was imagined it. Every time when I imagine it and I wrote it, I trying to imagine it in a big screen. How it's gonna look cool. but obviously, I trying to make it like reasonable as well. And not just look cool, but like, okay, there is a reason behind it. It's a sci-fi after all, so.
Yeah, I mean, it don't start off too sci-fi. In the very beginning, you're like, okay, this is a typical, fancy medieval type of feel to it, and then out of nowhere, you're like, okay, this book is going a different direction, and I love it.
Actually, it was there all along. I was just sleeping the readers most of the times, like they're not seeing it because it's front of them. I wrote it in a way. Some guys, I think, doing a review, like they read it in a second time now, knowing like what's the ending, and now they seeing it. Like it was not a secret. You're just not listening. You're just not seeing it. It's front of you.
We go into your book one more time. When I was doing a little bit of research before getting on this call here, I noticed on your Twitter profile, I'm not sure if this went under the radar or not, but I saw some artwork of Edward when he's on the boat, I think in the beginning scene. Is that artwork a part of something bigger in terms of like being in that special edition, or is that just like a fan-made art that's just a one-time thing? Because it was great looking. It looked fantastic.
So few of my friends who is doing art, they studying art in uni, and they want to be working on game developing and stuff like that. They just trying their luck with AI and maybe just redesigning it. And they was just trying my characters basically. And these are basically that ones. So these are AI generated and roughly recreated arts. And then on that post, I think I even mentioned it, like maybe I'm gonna post this kind of things because I think it still looks cool. It's connecting to my my word. Basically, it's just expanding it. I think it's no harm in it. So that pictures are that ones. Maybe one day if it's maybe like coming to special editions with inside, I don't know, chapter arts, it can work, but I just gonna see. I don't know yet.
Is there any plans in the special edition to have artwork in there too?
It depends on the budget. So if it's maybe a Kickstarter, yeah, then it will be a lot of art in it. If it's will be published by any publisher, I think it will be maybe just one or two, so like limited. Okay. Like the original Hungarian was just the map inside.
Yeah.
I think it should be something like that. So even the hardcover edition, I think we're just gonna add the extra chapters, which is original. Maybe some pictures of the kingdoms and some I don't know. Just extras. I think like 100 pages of extra things. It's just expanding the universe. I think it's already worth it.
That's great. Yeah, when you first pushed your book out, did you have any like ARC readers in the very beginning, or like did you have your family members read it? Like, hey, I wrote a book. Can you read it? Please let me know. Like, how did that go for you in the very beginning?
It was like something like that. Yeah, family members, friends. I have some writer friends as well, and I even ask my friends who has a writer or editor or anything who's relying to publishing, and I just sending to them and like checking the opinions and maybe a bit rewriting it. That was the beginning. The rewriting process was like 2 months, I think, for the first book. But it was like not major things, just like small, really small, like plot holes or the things like it was like too slow or why these things just happen like that. Or even one of my friends, and I mentioned it, like, nobody hunt like that. You have to do like this and this and this. I'm like, okay, dude, thanks. I'm gonna rewrote it.
That's great. Yeah, I think for me, the end result was great. So, in terms of your favorite books, actually, before we get to that, I think we're just in time now for brew number 4.
Already?
Yeah,
okay.
I think we're there.
I was not even see you drinking, or it was just like 2 slips.
I hit it a little bit, in and out. This last one I have right here is Kona Light Blonde Ale by the Kona Brewing Company. Oh, there we go.
Looks good.
If anyone on the video, if you're drinking a brew too, let us know down below. Or if you're drinking water, I mean, that's good too. We gotta stay hydrated, right? So, and you, more whiskey.
Yes, because I still have my beer as well.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so
it's not much of tea now.
You go into that question again. In terms of your favorite sci-fi and fantasy books, like what's your top 3 for you right now?
Right now, is this new one or all time?
I'm thinking all time.
Oh my god.
If you can even narrow it down that much, because for me it changes all the time.
Yeah, it changes for me as well. Like when I was a kid, I was love Harry Potter, but nowadays it's not gonna be in the top three. I think Dune is definitely there.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I still love it. That is an Isaac Asimov novel. Um, it's like a collection, basically. It's not just Isaac Asimov. He collected together. There is some from him, but there is some from other authors. I don't know actually the English name of that, but it was like out of time or something like that. It was like 20 different novels, but like original sci-fis. And I was really loved that when I was a kid, and I just reread it a few years ago. It was like it's still good. It was just really interesting concept in it. Like there is
Hmm.
time travel, that Martian thing. There are, I don't know, cloning. All of them is like an original, like a series. You know, when you're watching a Back Mirror, for example, and all of them is different, but all of them is like a cool story. It's like an interesting story, which you're not expect. I really love that book. That's one. Okay, we still need a third one, huh? I don't know. Maybe
One
Lord
more.
of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. So
Yeah.
I have a confession. I have not read Lord of the Rings just yet. Even though it's the top tier quality for the fantasy genre. I mean, I have it on my shelf. I just haven't read it yet.
So the thing is, a long time not read, but I still think probably because of the movies, this is a really good, well written book. It's because it's a classic. It's like a classic fantasy. It's
Yeah.
just so classic, so classic storytelling. So it's just lovely. I don't know.
Were you a fan of The Hobbit? Because that's the only one that I've read so far.
And that's
Was
the
The
thing.
Hobbit.
I not read The Hobbit.
Oh, see, okay.
But I will. It's on my list. Yes, I know. It's a shame. I have to. I know. It was like I was know it's like more for kids, you know,
Yeah,
and maybe because of that, I don't know. I will gonna read it.
yeah, that's the only one that I read. I mean, I enjoyed it. It just didn't blow me away. So I'm hoping that when I do get to the point where I do read Lord of the Rings, that it hits on the level that everyone says like it's a top tier quality for the fantasy genre, where it's still being referenced to this day. Which I think a huge part of that is because of the movies. The movies were fantastic, right?
Yeah.
So what's crazy though that The Hobbit is a small, tiny book, like this big, but they made 3 movies out of it somehow,
You
which I
know, it's
thought was
called money. When you are a studio,
definitely.
you just want to make money. That's the problem, I think. That's why it's need a good producer, good director who can say to the studios, okay, guys, I understand you want to make money, but we also want to make a good product, a good
Hmm.
art. Because if it's a good one, like the Lord of the Rings was, then it's gonna print money. So you just need a talented director as well, of course.
Yeah.
That's
Just
why
put
they made free.
Denis Villeneuve on any project, and then you got a success right there. And something that I would easily watch if he were to direct anything. So he's a go-to for me now. So yeah,
But the Lord of the Rings is the books. I mean, yeah, it's a bit tough. It's feels like it's written like 100 years ago. So be aware. But it's good. It's still good.
all right. Well, I think we're at a great point now. Actually, before we get to that, I wanted to show this one more time for everyone watching this here, that we have a potential very soon special edition of the Sealed Empire coming out sometime next year-ish. No
Yeah.
date just set just yet, but either way, I'm super looking forward to it because it was one of my top reads of 2023 when I read it. I think early this year, and it just blew me away. Like I didn't even mean to finish it when I did because like the cover it drew me in. Well, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna check this out real quick, and I started reading it, and that's when the prologue just sucked me into it. So, congrats on writing an amazing prologue. And with that
Thanks.
being said, I think we're at a good point now, to where I'm gonna give you the floor to basically say anything that you want in terms of whoever's watching this video now or in the future. You can talk about your books, you can talk about your life, anything that you have in your mind. The floor is basically yours.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Just coming out of nowhere. I think I gotta take a sip of this tea and biscuit there.
There we go.
Yeah. So go back for that hardcover thing. They can choose like which one they prefer. Basically, we're gonna use that one. But at the moment, most of the people are choosing the silver-ish darker style
Hmm.
rather than the gold, which is cool because I am planning the second book to be like more like the goldish style. I have a different cover idea for that, but with that colors. So I'm more than happy. Like most of the people are choosing the silver one because the second is will be like a goldish. Yeah. Maybe I just gonna talk about the process and everything as a writer, because so many people asking me like, how hard is that? Like, how I doing it or something. I think you just have to find the time for that. Like, just to have like I don't know, 2 4 hours, not every day, like 4 times a week or something, when you have
Hmm.
like a few hours instead of watching any Netflix or playing some video game. You just, if you have a story in your mind, you just have to write it. Like, it's a hard work at the end of the day, but you just sit down and wrote it. And if it's not good, then just throw it away, and next day you're gonna make another one.
Hmm.
So making as a habit, like doing the doing constantly, you have to focusing it, but it's just like few hours a day. So if you really want to do something, you have to stick with it, otherwise it's never going to happen. And if you are believing it enough, you're going to find the ways how you're going to publish it, how you're going to find a translator for that, how you're going to make the cover. If you are constantly just thinking of it every day, just a few hours, you're gonna make it. It took few years, yeah, it took few years, but come on, if you wanna do it, you have to. It's hard. Obviously, it's hard, but if you never are never gonna do it, it's never gonna happen.
Hmm. Yeah, that
Yeah.
just reminds me of Shia LaBeouf. I'm not sure if you've seen this meme where he did a full-on like monologue of talking. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yesterday you said
Yeah.
tomorrow. Just do it. So that's
Yeah,
just
just do
something
it.
I always
That's what
reference back.
that's what I telling to myself as well when I'm like so tired to do it. So, okay, you wanted to see your book published. You wanted to see your book somehow adapted in a video game. Then just sit down and do it. Few hours. That's your job today. Nothing
Hmm.
else is more important. Come on. It's not that much when you're playing like 2 hours. It's nothing in a video
Hmm.
game. Watching 2 episodes with a random series. No, but when you have to actually work, yeah, it's getting hard.
Yeah. I think people will be surprised when they look at their phone and like they look at the stats in terms of how much screen time they've
Yeah,
had on a single day. If you take a little bit of that time and place it to something that's a little productive, like writing a book,
yes.
but it can be anything.
Yeah.
That
And it's not just book actually. It can be anything.
Yeah.
If you want to be going for a gym, it's like a few hours actually, and you not even have to do it every day, like three times a week. No,
Yeah.
so whatever anybody want to do, it's so many times. It's just few hours per day, and it's kind of nothing, but it can make a lot because in 1 year, if you're just doing it every second day, it's already a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. So Everybody who's joined the call, joined the video, and joining in the future, thank you so much for joining us today. Joining us with Norbert Zsivicz.
Zsivicz. Well, it was close. It was good.
That was closer this time.
It was close.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining again. And for you guys who want to check out the Sealed Empire, I'm going to put a link in this video's description to his website where you can click on a little bit more information to see where you can get it. I think your website even has like some artwork on there too, right? It has a map on there. I saw some artwork in terms of Eric's, face mask, which looked really cool. So I think there's a lot on there for you guys to check out if you're interested in reading the Sealed Empire, which I highly recommend that you do because it's just fantastic. So,
and we're gonna expand that website when the second book is coming out, which is somewhere next year. Okay, I'm working on it. Halfway through, it will be cool.
Are people kind of already nagging you like George R. R. Martin? When's the next book coming out? Come on, people nagging you already?
I don't know.
Because I'm excited for it. Look at that. We already have a sale right here. Boom.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, yes, I getting in Instagram and everywhere, getting some like, okay, where it is, and I always telling them it's coming. Okay, but be aware, I'm not full-time writer at the moment, so this is still my part-time. I doing a regular hospitality job. So yeah, on my part-time I'm writing. And I'm writing, trust me. I'm working on it.
It's coming, okay? Yeah. So again, thank you guys for joining in, and go check out the Sealed Empire today. And Norbert, thanks again for joining me tonight. I know it's a little bit late for you. Hopefully you enjoyed that whiskey and your tea there, and hopefully
thank you.
The sickness leaves you here pretty soon, so where you're back up in 100% health.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you, Aaron. Hopefully we're gonna meet one day again.
Yeah, actually, before we head out, you mentioned something about coming to the States, right? I think you're coming to like Florida, potentially.
This is just maybe. It's a maybe. Okay, like 50%, like ish, because I have some friends there, but not Florida. It's in Michigan.
Okay.
And Canada, Toronto area. But if I gonna visit, yes, maybe then I can go down to Florida because I always wanted to visit. So
there we
maybe. Go. Yeah, maybe. maybe we can do a live interview there.
Then we can have some beers together in person. More Florida, more tropical beers. There we go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, go check out Norbert's book in the description after you watch the video. So have a good one, guys. Peace.
Thanks, guys.